The physics of surfing. Wave physics. Wind transfers energy into the ocean surface. Stronger wind, longer duration, and bigger fetch can create larger, more powerful waves. Waves are energy passing through the water. As energy passes through the water, it moves the particles in circular orbits. The water itself does not move forward with the wave. Wave formation. Wind waves generated by storm winds versus swell waves are generated by energy beneath the ocean's surface. Wind waves that travel far from the original wind source and gain energy become swell waves. And winds with long traveling wavelengths and periods arriving from distant source are considered swell. Wave speed equals frequency times wavelength. This equation describes the relationship of the speed of a wave with frequency and wavelength. The speed is equal to about the square root gravity times the water depth. The reason that the orbital velocity of the water at the top of the wave is larger than the wave's overall distribution speed. This causes the top of the wave to topple over in shallow water. The spot where the wave height suddenly goes down, because the biggest wave in the wave field starts breaking, is called the breaker point. Surfer and surfboard physics. Buoyancy. Why surfboards float. A surfboard floats because the upward force from the water matches the downward force of the surfer and board. The force buoyancy and the force of weight are equal. This is Archimedes' principle. The force of buoyant is equal to the density of water times gravity times volume of water displaced. When the board sits on the water, it pushes some of the water out of the way, and the water pushes back with the upward buoyant force. If that force equals the surfer's weight, the board stays afloat. Hydrodynamics. How boards move fast. Lift force equals to 1/2 of fluid density times velocity squared times the reference area times the lift coefficient. Lift is needed while surfing to push the board up, cutting down on the amount of board that goes under it in the water. This equation is for drag, and drag is needed while surfing to prevent the surfboard from sliding randomly across the wave and to help control it. Drag force is equal to 1/2 of fluid density times velocity squared times reference area times the drag coefficient. Friction, staying on the board versus moving fast. There are two kinds of friction in surfing. Friction between feet and the deck, this keeps the surfer from slipping, and friction with the water slows the board down. Friction is equal to the coefficient of friction times normal force. Wax increases the coefficient of friction so your feet don't slide, but the bottom of the board is smooth to reduce water friction and increase speed. Newton's third law, action and reaction in surfing. Force of A on B is equal to the negative force of B on A. Force of A on B is the force exerted by object A on object B. This is the action force. And the force of B on A is the force exerted by object B on object A. This is the reaction force. Newton's third law explains how a surfer is able to catch a wave. Gravity pulls them down along the wave. This is the action. And the wave pushes back against the surfer. This is reaction. Providing the support and starting speed. Surfing physics. Catching a wave. Matching the wave speed. To catch a wave, the surfer must match the horizontal speed of the wave so the wave can lift the board. The surfer paddles to build enough momentum to match the wave's velocity. Waves move with a phase speed v wave. The surfer must reach an equilibrium between the surfer and wave. Once the speeds match, the wave lifts the board from behind and begins accelerating the surfer down the face. The drop-in, potential to kinetic energy. This is when m times the acceleration of gravity times the vertical height is equal to 1/2 of the mass of the object times its velocity squared. During the drop-in part of surfing is based on the law of conservation of mechanical energy. The law states that in a problem with very little friction, the total mechanical energy remains the same. Thank you for watching.